podium, state your name, please.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
those of you who don't know me, I'm Gary Searway. I wanted to bring council up to date regarding dilapidated property in Fort Fairview. I've been riding around town and in the country. And it's amazing how many properties are vacant, dilapidated, and in my opinion, not inhabitable. But I don't see a whole lot being done by the community to address this issue. I know that Tony, at code enforcement, has sent letters. And we may have had some success with that, but I don't see a lot evident on the face of the earth. I have put together a list, a partial list, of dilapidated structures that I think the council should be made aware of, and I'll give you a copy of my list. And I would ask the council to at least consider doing something to address this issue. Not only for the citizens of this community, but we have people coming into this town to buy property, moving away from the cities, get away from COVID. If you drive around and you see these dilapidated buildings, it's not very attractive. It's got to be a way, it's got to be a pool of money somewhere to address this issue. And I don't know the answer to where the money is. I have made some comments to a couple of people about where the possibility of some money might be. But it doesn't start with the money, it starts with notifying the owners. And I'm told that none of these properties are tax acquired. But somebody's paying the tax, so maybe there's not a whole lot we can do. But I think it needs to be looked into. And I would hope that the council will direct management to do something. This list that I'm going to present to the council is no means complete. I'm sure you know in your own neighborhoods, there are probably others that could and should be added to the list. I've concentrated on residential. There are commercial properties as well that need attention. So with that, I'm going to just stop and pass this out. And hopefully, at some point in time, the council will take a look at it. Okay. And I'll give you a copy of the list too. Thank you for your information. Secondly, on a different issue altogether, I attended the public hearing here this week regarding solar farm proposal. And I was one of two citizens that attended. One of two. And I don't understand. Maybe this people in this community don't give a damn. I don't know. But it's either that or it's not publicized properly. I didn't see it listed down at credit union. I know it's on the website of the town. How many people check the town website? I don't know. Maybe there's a way to find out. But there's got to be a better way to get the word out. And if they don't care, then that's all right. But at least we've got to make the effort to get the word out that there is going to be a public hearing, what it's about, and so forth. So I just wanted to raise that concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Fire Chief Brown has some words he'd like to share with the council.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
Evening, councilors. Thank you for allowing me to share Fort Fairfield Fire Rescue Department's report to council this evening. As I last reported to you, we've had a number of calls for service to include structure fires, car accidents, and EMS calls. Our ambulance service continues to be successful. We have had numerous medical calls and we have successfully attended to and sometimes had multiple EMS calls at once. We've had situations with multiple patients and we're able to call upon our mutual aid departments for assistance. I'm proud to say the department will be fully staffed within the next few weeks as our most recent round of interviews was completed this week. We also have many paid call firefighter EMTs with a total full-time staff number of 32 members on the department. I also wanted to update you on the new tower ladder. We have made the repairs discussed and earlier and added new tires. We have placed our equipment on the apparatus, which is now operational to respond to any call. Within the month, we will have the truck fully decaled by Boulevard Graphics. The department has also acquired a new to us pickup from Coswell's Auto, which has been painted and decaled to match our new ambulance scheme. The white over red design will continue with any new apparatus we acquire moving forward. At this time, it's with great pleasure, I would like to introduce our new Deputy Fire Chief, Cody Fenderson. Mr. Fenderson began as our Deputy Fire Chief on October 19th, 2020. Deputy Chief Fenderson comes to us from Presque Isle Fire Department and has worked in fire and EMS for over 8 years. Deputy Chief Fenderson is a paramedic and teaches at NFCC in the paramedic program. He is an integral part of our departments. Please join me in congratulating Deputy Chief Fenderson. I, Cody Fenderson, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen therefore of. So help me God. I, Cody Fenderson, do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as Deputy Fire Chief for the town of Fort Fairfield, according to the Constitution and the laws of the state. So help me God. Congratulations, Deputy Chief Fenderson.
Thank you, sir, and thank you.
Chairman, Chief Newell, have some words for council.
Following this act is Mr. Haynes.
No.
Pretty straight up against the wall. Okay, if I'm
Didn't want to hide.
What's that?
Didn't want to hide there.
Good evening, Council. Dated October 16th, 2020 was going to present this at the last council meeting, but as you know, we had to cancel it. On Thursday, May 28th, 2020, Sergeant Eagles responded to the South Pier Road in Fort Fairfield for a 39-year-old unresponsive male with CPR in progress. And this letter is addressed to Sergeant Eagles. You, along with the staff from the Fort Fairfield Fire Rescue, valiantly tried to resuscitate the patient, including when you administered the life-saving drug Narcan. Unfortunately, at 6:43 p.m. on that date, the patient was declared dead. It was later determined through your investigation the individual died from a drug overdose by using illegal drugs. Your commitment to the individual and his family was to find the person who sold the illegal drugs and bring that person to justice. During your months-long investigation, and it was literally months, you encountered numerous obstacles in this case, but you were able to secure the information from the victim's phone, including a DNA sample from the drug packaging that the victim used that caused his death, and ultimately locating the drug dealer and arresting the drug dealer for the unlawful trafficking of scheduled drugs resulting in death. This is a Class A crime punishable up to 30 years in prison if convicted. This investigation from the start was incredibly challenging for you to solve. Your persistence in this case and your dedication you gave to the victim, and not only the victim but his families, has not gone unnoticed. And I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am to have you as my sergeant and a member of this department. You are truly a leader, an example for fellow officers to follow.
Congratulations on an exceptional job well done. Keep up the great work and the leadership that you've done and demonstrated to this community.
We have received one application for an on-premises liquor license renewal for the Knights of Columbus, number 1753.
Financial report.
We received September revenue sharing in the amount of $37,680.62 on September 20th, 2020. We received October revenue sharing in the amount of $49,942.14 on October 21st, 2020. Total expenses at the end of October were at 32.96% versus the 33.33% budgeted. Total excise tax collected in October was $57,804.33. State revenue sharing at $49,942.14. Real estate and personal property taxes collected were $278,102.78. Loan balances as of October 31st, 2020. Jones Fuel, $1,680.63. Langley, number 5275, $18,616.63. Langley, number 5277, $6,699.37.
Thank you, Mr. Rajewski. Share report.
Ladies and gentlemen. Our last recommended landfill meeting was October 30th, which was just after the meeting we met with the town council in October. That put us at we were reviewing our September finances, which is about 2 quarters of the way to the budget year. And just a brief summary, our overall revenues were up by 7.6% ahead of our budget schedule, and our operating expenses were 1.3% below. So we're on track to do a fairly good year, even considering it. During the COVID year, there's been some changes at the landfill. We've seen a lot of stuff coming in from people doing renovations at homes because they're stuck at home. And it's given us a chance to evaluate the problems that we're having at the weight and scales landfill. So we looked at the changes that we need to make to the landfill to make that run a lot smoother. We're proposing we're going to raise our permit fees from $20 to $25 to help with that expenses. Most of that is SADI expense for us. We looked at all the possibilities that are on the table. We looked at maybe eliminating the SADI trip to the landfill to see how that would help affect our revenues. 90% of what we get on Saturdays is residential stuff coming in, so we decided we want to keep that open. We're looking at improvements. We're looking at raising the rates $5. It's been about 15 years since we've raised the rates at all, so I think we're a little behind the times. We didn't think that was too high of a number to go with. Our overall budget for one of the things that we're responsible for is to make sure that we can always have 30 years of post-closure care money set aside. We're supposed to be 100% all the time. As of the end of September, we're at 98%. We're short by 2%. But 2% really amounts to around $500,000. That fluctuates every year a little bit, and we try to stay on average. We use that number too in the next couple of weeks when we set our budget for next year to look at doing whether we do increases to our customers or not. We know that we're going to still fall a little short in our budget with that. We've been short before, and we know that on average we can do pretty well with that. One of the things that we're contemplating is that we've done 4 raises to our customers in the last 5 years, and the owners have not seen any raises. So we're trying to put together a plan that will look at a way that we can do something to raise the owners as well, about 2%. I just want to give you another information. We haven't decided that yet. We'll be talking about that on Friday this week. Hopefully, Angie will have a chance to be with us, and she can pass on some of that information to you folks to see how we're going to try to do that. Having a post-closure care money set aside, a substantial amount of money, we were just told by our banks that they dropped our interest rates substantially from 2.5% to 0.2%. So going forward for the next, we can't get anything much higher than that anywhere with the funds. We're talking a lot of funding. So we bounced different ideas around, and one of the ones that we are talking about that we think may work very well for the owners would be, most of the owner towns wind up dipping into a tax anticipation loan to help cover their taxes. To help cover what the taxes are not in. And we're contemplating working with the owners to possibly lend them that money for a whole lot less than they would get from the bank. And it would still be substantial more than what we would get locked in up into a bond. So it's a way for us to give back to the owner communities an opportunity if they need it. Several of the town managers have spoken about talking to their council about it, and I don't think the increase had a chance to give it to you guys yet because it's all kind of took place at our last meeting. So that's another thing going forward that we're looking to try to do to help offset some of the stuff that may cause the town's expenses. And I think that's all right now. Let's see if there's any questions.
So with this money, you say to loan the towns, instead of us going out and get a tan at the bank,
Exactly,
we can utilize it. So it's like taking your own money and using your own money again.
more or less.
Good.
Yeah. Mitch, we haven't looked at the expenses that are involved in that, because we have to do that through a process of the legal paperwork involved in that. Somewhat, very much what you pay the bank anyway to do that, but we think it could be substantially lower than what the town's getting for change. So it's really just one of the benefits. We really got a good year this year for the landfill, considering everything that's going on. And it's just making us more confident that our merger with Bristol is a good idea. Their financial people have helped us with some of our questions that we've had through the year to help make things stay smooth for us. And certainly we're looking at what we do for interest rates and helping the individual towns is a benefit.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, under old business, ordinance 20-08.
A public hearing was held on November 6, 2020 at 12 p.m. in the council chambers of the Fort Fairfield Municipal Building. Kendall Stratton spoke for, and no one spoke against, or neither for or against the ordinance 20-08. The recommendation is that the town council approve ordinance 20-08, litter, illegal dumping, and property maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Vote, Mitch?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Fairfield Solar.
Fort Fairfield Solar LLC has agreed to a decommission plan for the solar farm to be submitted to Maine DEP for review and approval. The plan is attached to your memos. Fort Fairfield Solar LLC held their public hearing on November 16, 2020 in the council chambers at 6 p.m. The agenda for the hearing is attached to this memo. The results of the public hearing will be made available to council at the December council meeting. Decommissioning plan should be in there.
New Business Department Economic Community Development Grant.
The Maine Potato Blossom Festival has been awarded a grant in the amount of $10,000 from the Department of Economic and Community Development for the purpose of marketing the festival to conduct travel and tourism marketing and promotional programs to stimulate and expand Maine's travel and tourism economy. Recommendation is town council approves the Department of Economic and Community Development grant for the Maine Potato Blossom Festival in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? We'll vote. Melissa?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Don?
Aye.
Mitch?
Aye.
I vote aye.
Fort Fairfield Library received a memorial donation on November 4th, 2020 in the amount of $500 from the estate of the late Doris A. Turner. Mrs. Turner passed away on November 30th, 2019. She was an avid genealogist and was a 1948 graduate of Fort Fairfield High School. The Fort Fairfield Library will use this money to continue to increase the available records in our historical digital archives available online to genealogists and researchers. The recommendation is council accept the donation of a memorial gift in the amount of $500.
I'll move. Second. Questions or comments? Vote Mitch.
Aye.
Tom. Aye. Paul. Aye. Melissa. All of you.
Consolidated Communications has agreed to creating a fiber optic broadband network for Fort Fairfield. They would like for us to sign an LOI with them outlining the proposed terms by which Consolidated Communications will enter into a lease agreement with the town of Fort Fairfield for the right to install and operate fiber optic broadband in Fort Fairfield, Maine. The broadband project will encompass approximately all 72 square miles of Fort Fairfield with specific location and layout acceptable to Consolidated Communications and the town, subject to zoning, site topography, and a final engineered design. The broadband project will have minimal traffic impacts before and after installation. The LOI is a recitation of our general understanding of this contemplated transaction, and no binding obligations between Consolidated Communications and the town of Fort Fairfield are to result from the execution of the LOI, unless and until the above described transaction has been made the subject of a mutually acceptable contract and has been executed by both parties. Recommendation is that the council permits the town manager to sign an LOI with Consolidated Communications for the broadband project.
Second. Questions or comments?
What does LOI mean?
Letter of intent.
There we go. I'm trying to figure that out. Acronyms are going out there.
Letter of intent, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? We'll vote. Melissa? Paul? Aye. Scott?
Aye.
Mitch?
Aye.
And I vote aye. MSAB 20 irrigation. System.
Recreation Director Kevin Snall, Athletic Director Tim Watt, Public Works Director Garen Hansen, and myself met at the MSAD 20 athletic fields earlier this month to discuss the issues surrounding the drought and how it was affecting the fields. Through a series of discussions, it was determined that MSAD 20 could not carry the burden of the cost of the irrigation system for the fields, and they requested our help in finding a better solution. The town is currently getting quotes and researching different systems and grants. This is a great opportunity for the town and the school district to work together, and I will keep council informed of the progress.
I think not all this December closing.
The annual Christmas dinner for town staff and guests is scheduled for Thursday, December 10th, 2020. The snow date will be December 11th, 2020. I am requesting we close the town office and all departments at 1 p.m. that day so that all town employees may enjoy the dinner together. The recommendation is town council approves the closing of the town office and all departments on December 10th, 2020 at 1 p.m.
So move.
Second. Questions, comments? We'll vote. Mitch?
Aye.
Scott? Aye. Paul? Aye. Melissa? Aye. And I vote aye. So the November 6th, 2020 town council meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes on November 6th, 2020, as a special town meeting.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions on the minutes? We will vote. Melissa?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Mitch?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Warrant number 10.
Warrant number 10 in the amount of $492,971.04, including county taxes of $258,523.50, was completed on 11/13/2020. Checking account balance as of 11/13/2020 was $1,140.60. The charter savings balance was $5,000.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve warrant 10 as written.
Second. Second. Questions, comments? We'll vote. Mitch?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Melissa? And I vote aye. Go to executive session at 6:25.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, folks.